I'm Bob Sweeney for the City of Juneau Cable TV, Channel 991, back again with Dodge County Administrator Jim Mielke, and he's going to talk to us about what's happening with Dodge County government here for the month of May.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Jim. How are you doing?
Doing well. It's been kind of a chilly spring so far, right?
Oh, it sure has.
Yeah, we're looking forward to hopefully a much warmer May, right?
Well, we're looking forward to it, but long-range forecast suggests it's supposed to be a little bit cooler than the average.
Yeah, we'll just have to deal with it, just like everything else.
No choice, right?
Right. Well, looking forward in the month of May for the county board, just wanted to provide an update at the April 19th county board meeting, since there was the election of all 33 board supervisors earlier in May. Every 2 years, the board reorganizes itself, and that includes the election of the county board chair, the first vice chair, and the second vice chair for the county board. So at the November, here I'm thinking of fall already for winter. But at the April 19th county board meeting, Dave Froling was elected county board chair.
And how long has he been a member of the board?
Dave's been on the board close to 20 years. He served as vice chair for a number of years when Russ Cockey was chairman. So now Dave is the new county board chair for the next 2 years. The first vice chair is Rob Belk. He's been on the board, I believe, about 6 years, 4 to 6 years. He recently served as mayor for the city of Mayville. And he chose not to run for the mayor position in Mayville, and now he has some additional time on his hands, and he wants to become more involved with county government, and so he's first vice chair. And the second vice chair is Andrew Johnson, who's been on the board. He was appointed about a year plus ago, and Andrew is chairing currently the American Rescue Plan Act ad hoc committee. So we have in the leadership of the county board, Dave Froling, Rob Belk, and Andrew Johnson. And also locally, Supervisor Dennis Schmidt, who represents the city of Juneau, was re-elected to serve another 2 years on the county board. And Dennis has been assigned to the building committee, which he has chaired for a number of years, and he's also a member of the Human Resource Committee and the Taxation Committee.
Now, he's represented Juneau for quite some time, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. And he's been very active with the building committee, attempting to move projects forward, maintenance projects and so forth. And he's been involved with the Human Resource Committee, a member of that for a number of years also, and the Taxation Committee. And then I touched on earlier the American Rescue Plan Act ad hoc committee. The committee continues to review submitted projects and requests for funds. It's anticipated that the committee will be forwarding perhaps approximately either 5 or perhaps up to 10 projects to the county board in the month of May. The first step would be to have recommendations come from the committee, which would be sent to the Finance Committee. The Finance Committee is tentatively scheduled to meet on May 9th, and then the county board meeting is May 17th, and we'll see what takes place at that time. But Andrew Johnson, who's chairing that committee, is hoping that there would be enough consensus to move at least 5 projects forward, if not 10.
Now, this money needs to be spent within 2 years, right?
Well, with the way it's set up through the U.S. Treasury, that as we've touched on previously, the Dodge County allocation is just a little bit over $17 million. And the way it's set up, the Treasury guidelines or rules are that funds not obligated, which is different than spent, funds not obligated by the end of December 2024 are to be returned to the Treasury. And then funds have to be actually spent by December 31st of 2026.
Okay. So the fact that the committee is coming up with perhaps 5 to 10 projects now doesn't mean that that's the total number of projects.
Correct. These projects being obligated may based on the committee direction, they're looking to obligate maybe 8 to 10 to $12 million at this point, and then have another round of project reviews, perhaps late in 2022 or early in 2023.
Remind us again how many people or how many proposals were sent to the board for this money.
Actually, there was about 55 projects totaling about $72 million.
Okay, and was there some kind of matrix that was set up by the committee to try and determine which ones should be funded and which ones not?
The committee created a scoring matrix and on a scale of 1 to 100, of 0 to 100, and so they started working down from, and then the projects were ranked from the highest score to the lowest score, and that's where the committee started their discussion. One local project I just want to touch on that's scored well and is under consideration is a project here in the city of Juneau to have the county partner with the city on some water and sewer infrastructure improvements on East Oak Street. There's a project that's scheduled for this year in the city on Oak Street and near Highland. And then if there's if the funds are allocated to partner with the city, it would enable further work on East Oak Street to go farther west, or farther west on Oak Street. So
West?
right, because it would be going farther west from the intersection with Highland, coming
Okay,
more
okay.
towards the administration building.
Okay.
Mayor Wagner was at the last American Rescue Plan ad hoc committee meeting and provided further details on the project and the partnership opportunity. So this may be a project that's considered in the month of May, but as we sit here today, that hasn't been determined yet.
Okay, so that would score relatively high because there's already work being done on Oak Street to the east, is that correct?
Correct, because what the committee is looking at is trying to see which projects are basically, we've all heard the term shovel ready, ready to go, and this project in the city of Juneau is ready to go. So that's a positive for the project, or for the committee, is to look at trying to weigh out which projects would be ready to be funded yet in '22, and then which projects may be in a phased approach, which may actually have dollars spent in 2023 or beyond. And as part of the American Rescue Plan Act, Dodge County needs to report on a quarterly basis to the U.S. Treasury as far as funds obligated and funds actually spent.
Okay.
So that's going to be an ongoing process. So that's been a big task for the committee, and the meeting, the most recent meeting was just a tad over 3 hours, and there's a lot of discussion, and there's 12 members on the committee, which is really good, and the discussion is good, and obviously a lot of opinions, but everyone's trying to do what's in the best interest of the county and looking at investments that'll provide improvements throughout the county.
So when the membership of this committee was decided, I assumed that it was to make sure that different areas of the county were all represented?
Correct. There's quite a bit of, right, with the 12 members, there's representation from all aspects of the county, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, the next item I wanted to touch on is my replacement in the status of the search for the next county administrator. The application period extends through Monday, May 9th, and at that time, the county will learn, how many applicants there were, or there are, and currently the plan is to have interviews conducted on June 1st and June 2nd, and then with the best outcome of an appointment made by, or confirmed by the county board at the June county board meeting, and then optimistically having the next administrator start on or about August 1st.
Oh. So who's gonna run the show between the interim there?
Well, that's a discussion that's gonna take place at the May Executive Committee meeting. There will be a proposal for an interim appointment, and whether that's from someone from the outside who's basically retired, or if the responsibilities are divided internally amongst other county department heads. So that decision has not been made yet.
So would you know of a recently retired person that would qualify for that job?
Yeah, there's a person, Dodge County is working with a firm on the recruitment, and there's one of the associates on that firm who would be qualified to do that, and but that's going to be a decision by the Dodge County Executive Committee how to do that. I mean, it's not me. Believe me, it's not me, but
Well, that's what I was alluding to.
No, not at all. No.
So when you decide to retire, you're gonna be retired.
So June 1st is my last day, and then, correct, when I'm retired, I'm retired. That's the goal. And speaking of retirements, I also wanted to note that Dodge County Circuit Clerk Lynn Ron is retiring on May 3rd, and Lynn will have, I believe it's close to 40 years with Dodge County and throughout her career, and her term, the term for the Clerk of Circuit Court expired at the end of December of 2022, and Lynn is retiring a bit early, and the Chief Deputy Circuit Clerk, Kelly Enright, has been appointed by Judge Brian Fitzinger to fulfill the remaining term of office to the end of December, and Kelly Enright has also announced her candidacy and will be running for the circuit for the Clerk of